grandfather. Now today I've decided that it's time to tell you who you are. Those of you who've been reading the Explorer Race books already have an idea, but many of you have been unable to read them. Can't get them where you are, or are too busy, I understand that. So I want to give you an overview of who you are. When you come here as a soul to be born on this planet, Mother Earth, you have already done quite a bit to get ready. Alright? Which is why you are able to be born in a unique way, unlike on other planets. I'm not just talking about the birth cycle itself, alright? I'm talking about you as a baby when you are born. You are born with an overwhelming curiosity about life around you. Part of this has to do with the fact that as a soul, your guides have already instructed you that life on this planet will be unlike anything you have ever known before. Now, you have to consider the eons of time we're talking about. And every one of you, every single one of you, even people that you can't imagine would be like that, every one of you have had at least one life of spiritual mastery before you're allowed to be born here. And that is why you are able to fall back on resources in your life that you don't know about, have never been taught, and will have at least one time in your life, and usually many times, will be able to say, now where did that come from? How did I do that? Or how did I know that? That's where that comes from. Creator loves you. And even though it may not always be obvious, it's true. And thus, Creator has deemed that it is vitally important for you to have such resources to fall back on. Because, while you are born on other planets and other lives, as being somewhat interested in life around you, you remember who you are in the largest sense there. But on Earth, you are required to be born without the knowledge of who you are, so you can literally create and recreate. And what I mean by that is so that you can discover things that are new to you in this life, though you may know all about them, in lives on other planets. And as you discover them, you also have to discover solutions, for many of them will be problems. Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself. In order to understand who you are as the explorer race, for that is who you are born on this planet without being able to remember all that you've done in these other lives, including spiritual mastery. You are born, in that sense, ignorant of who you are. Some people might call it a gift of ignorance, but I think at many times you will say, what gift is this? Give it back, please. But you see, if you were born with all the knowledge of who you are, you would never be able to, nor would you have any desire or need to, discover anything new. But you are here to discover new things, to create new solutions for problems that are unsolved in the universe, and to bring about change, and a benevolent change at that, even when surrounded by things that are not so benevolent. Now, after going through the holiday season, most of you will know that even when there is strife and conflict, it is possible, though you sometimes have to make an effort, to bring about some benevolent change in circumstances that are seemingly beyond your control. You are born curious. All babies are curious. And you know this because they are looking around at things. They are having the joy of discovery experience. As soon as they're mobile, they're crawling about because they can't wait to get there and find out what that is. They want to know more about it. What does it look like? What does it smell like? And if you've ever seen a baby sucking their toes, what does it taste like? Well, you know about these things. But really, there's a larger reason why you are born curious. Even as you grow and become an adult, there are many things you always want to know about. And ultimately, you look up in the sky at the stars and you want to know what's out there. This is all because, as the explorer race, and I'm not talking about a small group of you, every single human being on this planet is the explorer race. And all those that came before you, and most of those that come after you. I say most because in the far-flung future, you will have accomplished the deed set forth for the explorer race. And it won't be so awful. Mostly, you'll have a wonderful time doing it. Creator is aware that there are some things in this universe that have not been solved. And while they might seem to be very minor compared to the things that you have to deal with on a regular basis, they are things that Creator would like to see a solution for. Everywhere, in other worlds, there are planets. Everywhere there's planets. A great many of them have human beings on them. Some of them have other types of beings. You will get to know most of them and enjoy their company someday, or those that follow you will. But again, I don't want to get ahead of myself. You will have the opportunity to meet these beings because Creator has looked around at all the planets and noticed that these civilizations on other worlds have achieved some level of benign benevolence, meaning everybody supports everybody else to have what they need and to be happy, to live well. If you had that on earth, you'd say this is heaven, and it's very much like that other places. But one thing they do not have, because they've forgotten it, they don't need it anymore, so they think. They don't have growth. Oh, of course, they are born, they grow, they get bigger, they get smaller, whatever. But they do not grow. You generally grow more in a week than they will grow in their whole lives. You have to grow. You are forced. As a child, you can crawl. You figure that out on your own. But you have to be taught how to walk. Most children do not learn how to walk on their own, even though they might study it. And you have to be taught many things on the planet. And as you grow older and learn how to adapt to your surroundings, so you learn how to teach yourself what must be done, and you ask others, and they help to teach you as well. On this planet, there are many things that are challenging. Do you know that the original intention on Earth was to have no more than, say, 1 or 2% discomfort? That's right. But as you know, anybody who's ever been around or in an argument, sometimes a minor argument can turn into a big fight. And sometimes you don't even know after the fight is over what in the world started that. As you know, many times, discomfort expands and grows on its own without much, seemingly, need or without much assistance from the outside, though very often there is assistance. Well, you are going to have the opportunity to grow and to change and to help others to grow and to change. And in time, this planet will revert to just 1 to 2% discomfort. What do I mean by that? In 1 to 2% discomfort, here's the perfect example. You are sitting in a chair, you are reading, you are doing whatever you are doing, and you notice a little draft at the back of your neck. Oh, I left the window open. You get up out of the chair, you walk around, you close the window, you go back to the chair, and you resume what you are doing. That's what I mean. A very slight amount of discomfort that you adapt, you change, you do something about, and then it's fine. That is unknown in the rest of the universe because people have achieved a level of society where there is no discomfort. And much as you would love to live like that, and all of you have lived like that many more times than you have lived on earth in various lives, then the simple fact is that you learn and you teach each other how to grow, how to adapt, how to be. You do the best you can in circumstances that are sometimes extremely difficult. But they will even out. They will get better. Even now, as a result of interacting with each other around the world because of travel, and really mostly these days because of your ability to communicate on the computer or even on the phone with people you don't know and have never met on the other side of the world. You are able to learn about them, and ultimately you are able to learn how much you have in common, how much you are alike, and when you discover things that you disagree upon, you learn, you grow, you change, and very often when it comes to friends, you are able to help each other to understand what needs to be changed, what's wrong, what has to be figured out, how you can adapt to it, how you can make it better. These challenges are unknown on other planets, and thus, on other planets, while the people have learned how to get along together and be friends all the time, they have forgotten, because it's not needed, They have forgotten how to grow. And Creator said, uh-oh, this is not good. What happens if this happens? What happens if that happens? The people won't be able to adapt. They won't be able to change. They won't know what to do. They need to have someone that can remind them that growth is a good thing, that adaptation can be a good thing and you can learn from your adaptation, and that many times it is useful. So, Creator got a bright idea. How about if we have the explorer race, made up of souls and beings and spirits who become human beings when they are born on Earth? And these souls and spirits will all be beings who have a curiosity about life in general. Plus, they will be a little restless, perhaps, and they will want to know if there's anything new. And thus, these two things, amongst others, are two factors that you all have in common. Mostly you will notice, though, that you all are curious, even if you don't say it. even if you pretend to not be at times, for this or that reason. You are born curious, and you remain curious your whole life. And you have tools to help you to survive that curiosity. The main one is your instinct. Your instinct is made up of your spirit, of your physical body, and your physical feelings. Only after the application of your instinct does your thought come in to consider, because your thought is here to learn. Your mind is here literally to learn, and hopefully to retain, though sometimes you forget, eh? But when you reach out, oh, what's that? And oh, and you pull your hand back because it was maybe too hot. You pull your hand back suddenly because your physical body, your physical feelings, and to a degree your spirit let you know, oh, don't do that. And afterwards you think about it, why not? That was uncomfortable. In short, your instinct works, and you are born with instinct. And even though you are born with the capability to think, you don't really do much of that when you are a baby, because you are enjoying your instinct on the physical level. Physicality here on earth has been heightened. It has been heightened so that you will want to know, and thus you have been given certain capabilities. Seeing, for most of you, you can do, and tasting, smelling things, and other senses that will help you to explore and understand your world. Exploration and understanding is what you are all about. And even before you get to understanding, which is a mental thing, and to a degree an accumulation of experience on the instinctual level, ultimately, you are here to learn through adaptation. And that is why by the time you're even 15, 16 years old, you have become a master of adaptation. I know you don't think of yourselves as masters of anything, but you really are masters of adaptation. And that is what you will teach beings from other planets. Oh, they're visiting. You can see them in the skies on a regular basis. And they will have much to share with you. How to cure all diseases. How to adapt your technology so it will last in the most benevolent way for all beings forever, and so on. Many, many other things. But you will not just be the student. You will also be the teacher. Because many times these ETs will say to you, why do you do that? And you will think that they are asking you, say when you argue with somebody, you will think that you have to make an excuse for your actions. But what they're really saying is, why do you act this way? And so on, yeah? But what they are saying underneath it, and many times they won't even know why they're asking that, is that there is a reason. And you can say this, especially those of you in the diplomatic corps, all right? You can say, we are learning how to adapt to things that we have no foreknowledge of developing. Or just simply you can say, we're learning how to adapt. And they will say, oh, because really all the conflict you have on the earth are challenges to adapt, to grow in the situation, to change and to bring about some beneficial solution, ideally for everyone. Granted, compromise is involved, but ultimately, and granted over time, there will be some benevolent solution brought in that will work for everyone. And gradually, your discomfort level on the planet will reduce until it's originally, back at its origin point of maybe 1 to 2%, so that you can get up and close the window because of that draft on the back of your neck. Now, you're learning how to do these things in many ways. But just for today, I want to say that you are not in nursery school here. This is not some uncivilized place, though many times things happen that are not civilized, not kind. You know that. But because you have been required by Creator to have at least one life of spiritual mastery before you come here, so that you will have the depth to fall back on in those moments when you don't know what to do, such as in a crisis, then, as a result, you are truly in a PhD program here. You have learned many things before you're allowed to be here. And then, when you are born in a state of ignorance, meaning you don't remember who you are, whereas on other planets you do remember who you are in the larger sense and what you've accomplished, and you know exactly how to go about and live your life on other planets, because you've already learned. Here, you are born without that knowledge of who you've been in other lives, and you must recreate your personality and your skills and discover them along the way in your life, and thus find solutions that are perhaps entirely new and have been, if not undiscovered on other planets and other worlds, at least you will rediscover them here, and perhaps in a new way. In short, you learn how to adapt to change and grow as a result, which has been forgotten on other planets. So, you are in the PhD program. You are not in kindergarten here, though it may seem to be that way. All right. As the explorer race, then, you will someday go out to the stars. You will meet people, and some of them will come here. They will look like you, and some of them who might look a little different, you will find very charming, and they will be artistic, they will be personable. In short, they will be very much like you, and they'll have much to share. And you, as masters of adaptation, and having very little fear of growth and change, oh yes, by comparison to other beings on other planets, very little fear. Thus, you will be able to teach them that it's all right to grow, that it's all right to change according to the circumstances of life around you, and it's all right to be, and it can be done safely. Now, masters of adaptation, know and understand that you are the explorer race, and someday I'll teach you a little more about that. But for now, if you can, read the Explorer Race book, the first one. And if you can't, I'll teach you more about this someday. For now, appreciate who you are, understand, and realize that as the Explorer Race, and as growing, creative, conscious people, you have many, many fine qualities, and you will be able to pass them on, not only to your young ones who are born, but to even very old, wise ones from other planets who will share knowledge and wisdom that you have forgotten about what is known and how it can help you on this planet. You will share with them that you can grow, you can change, you can adapt, you can discover, and be safe. Good life.